Hello, this is Molendinarius here from the Latinum Institute, and you can find me at Patreon with all my Latin courses and resource materials, and I invite you to have a look over there, especially the resources section, which you can access without subscribing to Patreon at my website latinum.org.uk. This is from book 1 of Ovid's Metamorphoses, and we are looking at the Ordo Verborum. This is a prose ordering of the Latin. These prose versions of the Latin have been in existence for well over 1,000 years. Around 200 years ago, firstly Clarke and then Hamilton started to publish versions of the Ordo Verborum with an English translation running along with it. And this is what we're looking at here. The idea is to look up vocabulary while we're going through, to learn vocabulary in some kind of context, and to learn some of the grammar of the original Latin. But then once you've got a reasonable grasp of it, you go to Ovid's original text. So let's start. Diluvium, the flood, et reparatio, and renovation, humani generis, of the human race. Una domus, one house, one family, occidit, fell. Sed, but, non una, not one, and there was more than one, fuit digna perire, was worthy to die. Irinus, the fury, regnat, reigns, qua terra patet, wherever the earth lies open. Putes, you may think, jurasse in facinus, to have sworn unto crime. Omnes, all. Dent, poenas, may give, or should suffer, poenas, the penalties, quas, which, meruere, they have deserved, pati, to suffer. Sic sententia stat, thus my determination, my ruling, stands. Pars probant, dicta Jovis, part, approve, the words of Jupiter, voce, by voice, que adiciunt, and add, stimulos frementi, incentives, raging, to him raging. Alii implent, others fill, partes, parts, their parts, as sensibus, by agreements. Tamen, however, iactura humani generis, the loss of the human race, est dolori, is for grief, omnibus, to all, et rogant, and they ask. Quae forma, what form sit futura, may be about to be, terrae orbae, mortalibus, to the earth, bereft of mortals? Quis sit, who may be, laturus, about to carry, tura, frankincense, in aras, unto the altars? Ne paret, whether he may prepare, tradere, to deliver, terras, the lands, populandas feris, to be ravaged by wild beasts. Rex superum, the king of the gods, vetat, forbids, quaerentes, inquiring. trepidare, to tremble, enim caetera, for the rest, fore curai sibi, to be about to be, for a worry, to himself. Que promittit, and he promises subolem, an offspring, dissimilem priori populo, unlike to the former people, mira origine, from a wonderful origin. Que iam, and now, erat sparsurus, he was about to scatter fulmina, his lightnings, in totas terras, on the whole lands. Sed timuit, but he feared, ne forte, lest by chance, sacer aether, the sacred sky, conciperet flammas, might catch the flames, ab tot ignibus, from so many fires. Que, and, longus axis, the long axle, ardesceret, might burn. Reminiscitur, he remembers it. Quoquesse in fatis, also to be in the fates, tempus afforre, the time to be about to be, quo mare, in which the sea, quo telus, in which the earth, que correpta regia caeli, and the seized palace of heaven, ardeat, may burn, et operosa, and the laborious, laboured, moles mundi, mass of the world, laboret, may be in trouble. Tela fabricata, manibus, darts, made by the hands, cyclopum of the Cyclops, reponuntur, are laid by. Diversa poena, a different punishment, placet, pleases. Perdere mortale, to destroy the mortal. Genus, race, sub undis, under the waves. Et dimitere nimbos, and to send tempests, ex omni caelo, from all heaven. Protinus, immediately, claudit, he shuts up, aquilanem, the north wind, in Aeolis antris, in Aeolian caves, et, and, quaecumque flumina fugant, whatever blasts drive away nubes, clouds, inductas, brought on. Que emittit, and he sends forth, notum, the south wind. Notus, the south wind, volat, flies out, madidis alis, with damp wings. Tectus, covered, quo ad, as to, terribilem vultum, the dreadful countenance. Picea caligine, with a pitchy darkness. Barba gravis nimbis, his beard heavy with tempests. Unda fluit, the wave, flows. Canis capillis, from his hoary locks. Nebulae sedent fronte, mists sit on his forehead. Que pennae, both his feathers. Que sinus, and bosoms, rorant, drip with dew. Que ut pressit, and as he squeezed, pendentia, the hanging. Nubila, clouds, lata manu, with a broad hand. Fragor, fit, a crash is made. Hinc densi nimbi, from here dense tempests, funduntur, are poured, ab aetere, from the sky. Iris, Iris, the rainbow. Nuntia Junonis, messenger of Juno. Induta, dressed, quo ad, as to, varios colores, various colors, concipit aquas, conceives waters, que affert, alimenta, and brings nourishments, nubibus, to the clouds. Segetes, the standing crops, sternuntur, are knocked down, et deplorata, and bewailed, cried about, vota coloni, vows of the farmers, jacent, lie low. Que iritus labor, and the useless work, longi anni, of the long year, perit, perishes. Nec ira Jovis, nor was the wrath of Jupiter content, sur Caelo, with his own heaven. Sed Caeruleus frater, but his azure, his blue brother, Juvat, assists him, auxiliaribus undis, with helping waves. Hic convocat amnes, he calls together the rivers, qui, which, post quam, after that, intravere tecta, they entered the roofs, sui tyranni, of their ruler, ait, he says, non est, it is not, we must not, utendum, to use, longo hortamine nunc, a long exhortation now, effundite vestras vires, pour out your forces, sic est opus, so it is necessary, aperite domos, open the houses, ac mole remota, and the mass, the barrier, being removed, imitite totas habenas, send on entire reins, the things that stop you from moving, vestris fluminibus, to your floods. Usurat, he had ordered, he, these, redeunt, return, ac relaxant ora fontibus, and unloose the mouths to the fountains, et, and. Volvuntur, are rolled, de frainato cursu, with unbridled course, in aequora, into the seas. Ipse percussit terram, himself struck the earth, suo tridente, with his trident, at illa, but it intremuit, trembled, que motu patefecit, and by the motion opened out, sinus aquarum, bosoms of waters. Flumina expatiata, the floods having wandered, spread, ruunt, rush, per apertos campos, to the open plains, que rapiunt arbusta, and tear away the shrubs, simul cum satis, together with the crops, que pecudes, and the cattle, the domestic animals, sheep and goats and things. Que viros, and the men, que tecta, and the roofs, que penetralia, and the shrines, cum suis sacris, with their sacred things, understood. Si qua domus mansit, if any house remained, que in dejecta, and not thrown down, potuit resistere, was able to withstand, tanto malo, so great an evil. Tamen unda altior, however the wave more lofty, tegit culmen huius, covers the top of this, que pressae turres, and the squeezed towers, labant, totter. Sub gurgite, under the well pool, que iam, and now, mare et telus, the sea and earth, habebant nullum discrimen, did have no distinction. Omnia errant pontus, all things were sea, que littora, and shores, de errant, were lacking, huice ponto, to this sea. Hic occupat collem, this man seizes or gains a hill. Alter sedet adunca cumba, another sits in a crooked boat. Et ducit remos illic, and leads or draws oars there. Ubi nuper arrarat, where lately he had ploughed. Ille navigat supra segetes, he sails above the reeds, the crops. Aut culmina mersai villae, or the tops of a drowned villa. Hic deprehendit piscem, this man catches a fish, in summa ulmo, on the highest elm tree. Ancora figitur, an anchor is fastened, in viridi prato, in a green meadow. Si force tulit, if chance brought or directed. Aut curvae carinae, or the crooked keels, terunt vineta, rub the vineyards. Et qua modo, and where lately, graciles capellae, slender she-goats, carcere gramen, cropped the grass, ibi, there, deformes foci, deformed sea lions or seals, ponunt, place, nunc, now, sua corpora, their bodies. Nereides, the Nereids, mirantur lucos, admire groves, que urbes, and cities, que domos, and houses, sub aqua, under water. Que delpines tenent siluas, and dolphins hold the forests. Et incursant altis ramis, and gambol on the high branches. Que pulsant, and beat agitata robra, the shaken oaks. Lupus nat inter oves, the wolf swims among the sheep. Unda vehit, the waves carry away, fulvos leones, the yellow lions. Unda vehit tigres, the wave carries away the tigers. Nec vires fulminis, neither the forces of lightning prosunt apro, profit the wild boar. Nec velocia crura cervo, nor swift legs of the stag. Ablato, carried away. Que vaga volucris, and the stray wandering bird. Teris quaesitis diu, lands being sought long. Ubi detur sistere, where it may be given to stop. Decidit in mare, fell into the sea. Lasatis alis, with tired wings. Immensa licentia, the unbounded unruliness. Ponti, of the deep sea, obruerat tumulos, had overwhelmed the hillocks. Que novi fluctus, and new strange waves, pulsabant did lash, montana cacumina, the tops of the mountains. Maxima pars, the greatest part, rapitur, is snatched away, unda, by the wave. Longa jejunnia, long fastings, inopi victu, with poor food, domant illos, subdue those. Quibus unda pepercit, to whom the wave spared. Pocis, focis, ferax terra, a fertile land, dum fuit terra, while it was land. Separat, separates. Aonios, the Aonian, ab Actais, from the Actian Arvis fields. Sed in illo tempore, but in that time, pars maris, part of the sea. Et latus campus and a broad plain, subitarum aquarum, of sudden waters. Ardus mons, a lofty mountain, ibi there, duobus verticibus, with 2 peaks, nomine Parnassus, by name Parnassus, petit astra, seeks the stars, que superat, and surmounts nubes the clouds, cacumene by its top. Ubi Deucalion, when Deucalion, vectus, carried, parva rate, in a small bark, cum consorte, with the consort Tori of his bed, adhaesit hic, he stuck there. Nam aequor, for the ocean, texerat caetera, had covered the rest. Adorant, they adore. Coricidas nymphas, the Corician nymphs, et numina montis, and the deities of the mountain, que faticidam temim, and fate-declaring Themis. Fatidicam temim, quae tunc, who then tenebat, did hold, oracula, the oracles. Shortened oracla. Non quisquam vir, not any one man, fuit melior, was better, illo, than he, nec amantior aequi, nor more loving of evenness, of justice, aut ulla, nor any, metuentior deorum illa, more fearing of the gods than she. Ut Jupiter, when Jupiter, videt orbem stagnare, seized the globe to overflow, liquidis paludibus, in liquid lakes, et unum superesse, and one man to remain, de tot, of so many milibus, thousands, modo, lately, et videt, and sees, unam, one woman, superesse, to remain, de tot milibus modo, of so many thousands lately, ambos innocuos, both innocent, ambos cultores numinis, both worshippers of the deity, disiecit nubila, he dispersed the clouds, que nimbis remotis, and the tempests being removed, aquilone, by the north wind, ostendit, he discloses, et terras caelo, both the lands to heaven, et aetera terris, and the sky to the lands. Nec ira maris, nor the anger of the sea, manet remains, que rector, and the ruler, pelagi, of the sea. Tricuspide tello, the 3-pointed weapon, posito, being put aside, mulcet aquas, soothes the waters, que vocat, and calls, caeruleum tritona, the azure Triton, extantem, standing out, supra profundum, above the deep. Atque tectum, and covered, quo ad astu, humeros, the shoulders, innato murice, with the natural purple, que jubet, and orders him inspirare, to breathe in, sonaci concae, the sounding shell, the conch shell, que iam signo dato, and now a signal being given, revocare fluctus, to call back the waves, et flumina, and the rivers. Cava tortilis, the hollow spiral, bucina, of the trumpet, sumitur illi, is taken to, by him, quae crescit, which increases, in latum, in broad, ab imo, from the lowest turbine twist. Bucina, the trumpet, quae which, ut concepit aera, when it has conceived air medio ponte, in the middle deep, replet voce, fills with the voice, litra jacentia, the shores lying, sub utroque paibo, under each Phoebus, under each sun. Tum quoque, then also, audita est, it was heard, omnibus undis teluris, by all the waves of the land, et aequoris, and of the ocean, et quibus undis, and by whatever waves audita est, it was heard, coercuit omnes, it constrained all. Iam mare habet litus, already the sea has a shore. Alveus capit, their channel contains plenos amnes, the full rivers. Flumina subsidunt, the floods sink. Colles videntur exire, the hills are seen to come out. Humus surgit, the ground rises. Loca crescunt, the places increase. Undis decrescentibus, the waves decreasing. Que post longam diem, and after a long day, silvae ostendunt, the forests show, nudata caecumina, their bared tops. Que tenent limum relictum in fronde, and retain the mud left on the leaf. Orbis reditus erat, the globe had been restored. Quem post quam, which after that, Deucalion, vidit inanem et desolatas, so empty and the desolate terras lands, agere to act to keep, alta silentia, deep silence. Affatur Pyrrham ita, he addresses Pyrrha in this way. Lacrimis obortis, tears having sprung forth. O soror, O sister. O conjux, O wife. O sola femina superstes, O only woman survivor. Quam commune, whom a common. Genus, the same birth. Et patruelis origo, and a cousin German origin. Deinde then, torus junxit mihi, the marriage bed united to me. Nunc pericula ipsa, now dangers themselves jungunt, unite. Nos duo, we two, sumus are, turba terrarum, the crowd of the lands. Quascunque occasus, whatsoever the west, et ortus, and east vident see. Pontus possedit caetera, the deep sea has possessed the rest. Nunc quoque ad hoc, now also as yet, est non, is not fiducia, a confidence, satis, sufficiently. Certa, certain, nostrae vitae, of our life. Etiamnum, even now, nubila terrent, the clouds affrighten mentem, the mind. Quid animi, what of mind forret nunc, would be now tibi to thee, miseranda, O to be pitied one. Si, erepta fuisses, fatis, if you might have been torn away by the fates, sine me, without me. Quo modo, in what manner, sola, alone, posses ferre timorem, might be able to carry the fear. Quo consolante dolores, what consoling griefs. Namque, crede mihi, for, believe me, conjux, O wife, si modo pontus haberet te, if only the sea might have you. Sequere te, I should follow you. Et pontus haberet me quoque, and the sea should have me also. O utinam possem, oh that I might be able reparare populus, to renew the people, paternis artibus, by paternal arts, atque, and infundere animas, to infuse souls, formatae terrae, to formed earth, nunc mortale, now the mortal, genus, race, restat, remains, in nobis duobus, in we two. Sic visum est, thus it has seemed fit, superis to the gods, que manemus exempla hominum, and we remain specimens of men. Dixerat, he had spoken, et flebant, and they did weep. Placuit precari celeste numen, it pleased them to pray the heavenly deity, et quaerere auxilium, and to seek help per sacras sortes, through the sacred lots, the oracles, nulla mora est, no delay is. Adeunt Cepisidas undas pariter, they go to the Cephisian waves equally. Ut nondum liquidas, though not yet liquid, sic secantes vada, so cutting shallows, jam nota, now known. Inde, thence, from there, ubi irroravere libatos liquores vestibus et capiti, they sprinkled the poured waters onto garments and head. Flectunt vestigia, they bend their footsteps, ad de lubra sanctae Dei, to the shrines of the holy goddess. Fastigia, the pinnacles, quorum squalebant turpi musco, which were foul with filthy moss. Que arae stabant sine ignibus, and the altars did stand without fires. Ut tetigere gradus templi, when they touched the steps of the temple. Uterque procumbit pronus humi, each lies down bent of the ground. Que pavents, and trembling, dedit oscula gelido saxo, gave kisses to the cold rock. Atque dixerunt ita, and they said thus, si numina victa, if the deities overcome justis precibus, by just prayers, remolescunt, relent, si ira deorum, if the anger of the gods, flectitur, is bent, dic, say, temi, o Themis. Qua arte, by what art, damnum nostri generis, the loss of our race, sit reparabile, may be reparable, et mitissima, and O mildest, fer opem mercis, bring help to overwhelmed things. There, morta est, the goddess was moved, que dedit sartem, and gave an oracle. Discedite templo, depart from the temple, et velate caput, and cover your head, que resolvite cinctas vestes, and loosen your tied-up garments, que jactate ossa, and throw the bones, magnae parentis, of the great parent, post tergum, behind your back. Obster puere diu, they were amazed long, que Pyrrha prior rumpit silentia, and Pyrrha, former, the first, breaks the silence, voce, with voice, que recusat parere iussis, and refuses to obey the commands Dei, of the goddess, que rogat, and begs, pavido ore, with trembling mouth, det veniam sibi, she may give pardon to herself, que pavet, and she trembles, laedere, to injure, maternas umbras, the maternal shades, ossibus, her bones. Jactatis, being cast, interea, meanwhile, repetunt, they repeat secum, with themselves, obscura verba, the obscure words, sortis, of the oracle, datae, given, caecis latebris, with dark labyrinths, caves. que valutant and resolve inter se between themselves. Inde then Promethides, that's Deucalion, mulcet soothed, epimetida, epimetis, placidis dictis, with gentle words, et ait, and says, aut fallax solertia est nobis, either a deceitful skillfulness is to us, aut oracula, or the oracles, sunt pia, or pious, que suadent nullum nefas, and persuade no impiety. Magna parens est terra, the great parent is the earth. Reor lapides in corpore terrae, I imagine the stones in the body of the earth, dici ossa, to be called bones. Iubemur, we are commanded, iacere, to throw horse these, post terga, behind our backs. Quam Titania, although Titania, morta est, was moved, augurio, by the augury, that's the interpretation, conjugis, of her husband. Tamen, however, spes est in dubio, hope is in doubt. Adio, so much, ambo, both, diffidunt, distrust, celestibus monitis, the heavenly admonitions, warnings. Sed quid, but what nocebit tentare will it hurt to try? Descendunt, they come down. Que velant caput, and cover the head. Que recingunt tunicas, and ungird their tunics. Et mittunt jussos lapides, and throw the ordered stones post sua vestigia, behind their footsteps. Saxa caepere, the stones began, ponere, to lay aside, duritiem, their hardness, que suum rigorem, and their rigidity. Quis credat hoc, who may believe this? Nisi vetustas sit pro teste, lest antiquity may be for the witness. Que moliri mora, and to be softened by delay. Que molita ducere formam, and being softened to lead or assume a form. Mox soon, ubi creverunt, when they increased. Que mitior natura, and a milder nature, contigit illis, happened to them. Ut quaedam forma, that a certain shape hominis, of man, potest videri, is able to be seen, sic non manifesta, so though not manifest, sed uti de, but as from, caepto marmore, the begun marble, non satis exacta, not sufficiently exact, que similima, and very like, rudibus signis, to rough statues. Tamen pars, however the part, ex illis, out of them, quae fuit humida, which was moist, aliquo succo, with some juice, et terrena, and earthy, versa est, was changed in usum corporis, into the use of the body. Quod est solidum, what is solid, que nequit flecti, and is unable to be bent, mutatur in ossa, is changed into bones. Quod modo fuit vena, what lately was a vein, mansit sub, remained under. Erdem nomine, the same name, que in brevi spatio, and in a short space of time, munere superorum, by the gift of the gods, saxa missa, the stones sent or flung, manibus, by the hands weary of the man, traxere, drew or assumed, virilem faciem, a manly face. Et femina, and woman, reparata est, was renewed, de femineo iactu, from the feminine casting of stones. Inde, thence, sumus durum genus, we are a hardy race, quae experiens laborum, and experiencing hard work. Et damus documenta, and we give proofs. Qua origine, from what origin, nati simus, we may have been born. And that brings us to the end of that fable. So the idea is you go through this, you get a handle on the vocabulary in the text and some of the grammar forms as well. And then once you are familiar enough with it, you go and look at Ovid in the form of the poem and leave the Ordo Verborum alone and behind. If you are interested in more of my work, head over to Patreon and search for Latinum, or visit latinum.org.uk. There are links below the video to make this a bit easier. All right, bye.